I love it when a little flower on somebody's lapel shoots water.
Yes.
Good morning, BB.
Oh, good morning. It's too early. Oh, good morning. It's too early.
I'm very glad that we put like a cold open on the podcast now, so that's not the first thing they hear.
Yeah.
Both of us just going,
Oh, good morning. It's too. Well, the first thing they hear on the podcast is the lovely, lovely intro music that was created for us.
so true.
But the second thing they hear is, well, good morning. Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And oh my goodness, Saige.
Yes, Anthony.
I, as you know, I am taking every day this month and I'm playing a different Game of the Year candidate that I've never played.
You know, I only know from your Twitch titles. We haven't talked about it.
But you do know.
I know. I know because I'm an attentive friend that pays attention to your work.
I know, and that's why I know that you know, and I know that you know that I know that you know.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What have you played so far?
We played Cocoon.
Okay.
So far, we've been playing some new stuff, like a lot of. It's a big year. I
mean,
forgot
if you're
how
doing
big a
Game
year
of the
it
Year,
is.
It's got to be new stuff.
Well, old stuff that I haven't played too, like old, like beginning of the year. It's been a packed year.
I guess it's just weird to call beginning of the year old.
It's old, baby. Listen, haven't you seen in the cartoons? Years start off as baby, turn into very old man.
Yeah.
Turn into very old man.
Well, it makes sense that a bunch of games that just dropped are contenders. It's that award season thing that like happens for video games and movies, where as many movies as possible are going to try and drop right now with their like Oscar bait movie, so that they stay in your conscience when it comes around to Oscar voting and the actual award show season.
That's right. And
want to slide in.
every single one of these video games deserves the Oscar.
Yeah.
For videoed game.
Every
single
game.
one. Every video game is perfect.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
we were going to talk about some that aren't so perfect later. But I played Thirsty Suitors last night.
And how's Thirsty Suitors?
So good.
Yeah?
You are going to love Thirsty Suitors.
All right.
I'm going to pull up the trailer. I know we don't normally do this when we're just chatting
We
in the
don't,
beginning.
no.
But this trailer is wildly amazing. I'm going to pull it up on mine. It is a turn-based RPG, Tony Hawk,
It's so cute.
dating,
It's a beautiful animation.
visual novel,
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. It's
Hot
everything.
cast.
Hot cast. It's all about you play as Jala, who has a bad breakup and moves back to her hometown. And she's like the disappointing sister, like the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
And when you get back, like all your exes find out you're back in town. And one of the reasons you left town is you were a mess.
Nice.
And you sort of left everything as, oh, it's a cooking too. There's also a cooking mama in it.
I love Cooking Mama.
It's very good.
Yeah, I'm going to play the shit out of that.
I loved it.
Yeah, that looks fun as hell, and I'm going to play that.
I absolutely loved it.
Jelly PB already pointed out my PlayStation fit today, and that is because I also played some video games this week.
Puzzle Bobble?
I did play a little bit of Puzzle Bobble, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
While Spider-Man 2 was installing.
Ooh.
I finally turned on my PlayStation for the first time since the last Spider-Man came out. And I played a bit of Spider-Man. I got a good few hours in. It's a great fucking game.
It's a great game,
I know I'm
right?
like really late to say this, but like it's a great fucking game.
I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but Spider-Man 2, that's a pretty good game.
It's so good. I had a very, 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 very good time with it. It's the first time in a while that I've been doing other things and been like, man, I wish I was playing that video game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of the time for me, like video games are not addictive for me. I have many addictive traits, but video games is not generally one of them.
Yeah, me neither.
Sure. And a lot of the time it's like, oh, when I'm sitting down to play this game, I can't wait to play this game again. But like, I'm trying to get my work done and I'm like, damn, I just want to play Spider-Man 2.
You remember when I said, is like, I was trying to do stuff in my regular life and I was like, but New York needs me.
Yeah.
I was like, New York needs me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
I can't,
it's tough.
That one Spider-Man can't do it on its own.
No.
They need me.
They need me. Had a great time with that this weekend. I also, not weekend, this week.
How far did you get in? Without getting too spoilery.
4 or 5 chapters?
4 or 5 chapters. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you?
I think I got 5 chapters in.
Was there a heartwarming flashback? Did you get there? No. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
You're going to lose your mind.
And I think I know what you're referring to. No spoilers.
Yeah.
But no. No, I don't think so.
You're going to lose your mind.
Very exciting.
It's so good.
Very exciting.
It's so good.
I'm having a great time with it. I also dove back into Disney Dreamlight Valley, which we're going to talk about in a little bit because there's some new things that just got me thinking about it and got me excited.
That's right. We're going to be talking about that Dreamlight Valley. We're also going to be talking about a new Silent Hill came out, sort of.
Well,
kind of. In a way.
Ish.
And even with those qualifiers, it's not good.
Disappointing even for that.
We got what I think is a terrifying vision of our digital future this week.
Ooh, corporate monopoly.
And some sad news for the Baldur's Gate community.
Very true. All of that and more
But
today.
First, we want to check in with local cryptid, Indrid Cold, I guess.
Good morning. Good morning, Alex.
Do you have any ill portents of the future to warn us about?
Nice. I love that.
How's your last few days been? Really good. Yeah? Hey, Mazel Tov. That's great. Can you talk about
muted.
it? Or
you're muted.
You're muted.
I don't know what that's about.
Only some can hear
Haha,
the
just
predictions
kidding.
of the Mothman.
Sorry, everybody. Also, hi, good morning, Blizz. Good morning to Blizz on Blizz account and Rooster Teeth account. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Blizz. Good morning.
That's my new friend, Blizz.
Oh, how lovely. Did y'all hung out at the
We hung out
TwitchCon?
at TwitchCon. We played in a murder mystery together at TwitchCon. I would go as far as to say we're probably best friends now.
Wow. Well, good morning to Saige's new best friend. I guess I'm out.
Chat. Yeah.
I guess I'm out. And the rest of and tell everybody else at Rooster Teeth that we say hello.
Yeah. No Alex today, JK, I'm figuring it out. Alex is figuring out what's up with Alex Mike. But Alex says the light is coming.
Alex did say the light is coming.
That was the piece of wisdom from our very own Mothman. Love a Mothman.
Hey, who doesn't love a Mothman?
I also love that Alex is still just living in the Halloween spirit. I do refuse to accept that it's over because that's the other thing. The last time we saw you was on Monday. Halloween had not happened yet. So we also should acknowledge that Halloween happened in the meantime.
Congratulations.
Anthony actually showed up.
I feel like I always show up
You don't.
to the Halloween party.
You don't.
I feel like I do.
You didn't last year?
Maybe that was your birthday. I showed up to your birthday party.
You know what? Honestly, so fair to get those confused.
It's really, they were very much theme-wise,
Yeah.
location-wise, they were very
Yep.
similar parties.
No, honestly, totally fair. Similar occasions in the way that I celebrate and the 2 gatherings I throw per year.
Yeah. And I showed up in a costume.
You did. You showed up in a costume.
But I showed up also to Halloween in a costume, and it was lovely.
Yeah. It was great. I had a great
party.
time. I was Evie from The Mummy. Had a lovely, lovely night. Had a
Pretty
great time.
spot on, too.
Thank you.
It was pretty, like, you would think that that Evie outfit is very specific, and it is, but somehow you did the specific outfit.
Yeah. I customized it.
Wild.
Had a big curly wig. I took like no photos. So, oops.
Oopsies.
That means it was a good Halloween and we were having a very good time. And then on Wednesday, on the Monday show, I was like, I don't know if we'll be here on Wednesday. I didn't even say anything on Wednesday. I didn't even announce we weren't doing a show. I was so sleepy on Wednesday.
Well, that means we probably were here. And if you didn't catch it, then where were you?
That's on you.
That's on you. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, figure it out. Halloween was lovely.
Yeah.
And this whole week's been a pretty good, well, other than my car stuff.
Yeah.
This week's been a pretty good week.
Yeah. I've still got car stuff too.
Me too. I got to take care of car stuff the moment I leave. Listen, cars.
Buh, horrible. Hate to have them. Hate to not.
Let me tell you something. Even Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
No.
No cars.
No cars.
No cars.
Cars, can't live with them, can't live without them.
There was a thing this week in LA. I talked about it a little bit last night on my stream, but I don't know if you saw, they closed down the 110 on Sunday morning.
No.
The Arroyo Seco, which was built to be a luxurious overlook walk originally, and then got turned into the 110.
Okay.
Because we need car to live.
Well.
And LA need more car than most, I guess.
Bit of a chicken and the egg.
They closed it off on Sunday morning just for people to like ride their bikes and walk and all this stuff. And one of the accounts that I follow on Instagram about things that are happening in LA posted about it.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely video that this woman had posted to her TikTok that's like, look at what a lovely morning we had, walking and just really enjoying and finally enjoying LA and the overlook and blah. All the comments were like, fuck you, reopen road.
Oh my God.
Hippie bullshit, reopen road. Car need drive.
Gotta go fast.
There was traffic because of this. There was traffic because it's LA.
There's always traffic.
Like, no more car. Please. Please, no more car. Please, no more car.
I would love, but here's the thing. You say that, and then, Anthony, no more car.
I know.
You can't say that.
Well, please, society, no more car.
Please, society, no more car. Hey, what we're saying is walkable cities.
Walkable cities.
What we're saying is maybe it is actually a crime against humanity to not give us walkable cities.
Look.
And maybe the way that we've separated everything that is so entirely dependent on class is an intentional divide to keep us apart from actually building better. But who could say? I don't know.
Class will keep us apart. Again.
I don't know. Who could say if it is an intentional class divide?
It was.
Who could possibly say if the, manufacturing of car lobbyists that advocate for less walkable cities and so spreading things further apart and making it so people can't get to grocery stores or work without a car.
Maybe Los Angeles was the most walkable city in the United States until, the car and oil lobbies actually ripped out all of the public transportation in the 1950s.
Who could say?
Maybe they made a Roger Rabbit about it. Read a book.
The trolleys. Listen, the trolleys. Listen, the trolleys. I think very frequently about Walt Disney's idea of like, we got to get rid of cars.
Yeah, Epcot.
No fucking cars in my city. I think a lot about Walt Disney's original Epcot plans that we've talked about on the show many a times. And I think we did a deep dive on Patreon about it at some point. But in his original plans for Epcot which was a living community and not necessarily a theme park.
It was a company town, but good, is what Walt Disney posted as.
Yeah, his idea was
company town,
no way
but
it was
good?
Gonna be good.
But good?
But the actual infrastructure of it was fascinating. And it was like all of the cars park under the city. So if you need to leave the city, you can have a car parked on like the outskirts of your little city, but no cars inside the fully walkable city.
No cars inside the fully walkable city.
You could get to everything you needed without car.
But instead what we got are suburbs without sidewalks.
Yep.
So the poors don't try to
or
come.
Or streetlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Blech.
Anyway, look forward to our public infrastructure podcast coming soon.
It's this one.
Here's the thing. If you get two neurodivergent people in a room and you start talking about public transit, it's like we got to go back to video games because otherwise we'll be on this all day.
When everybody said neurodivergent people love trains, I was always like, I don't care about trains. I was picturing like model trains and stuff like that.
You love trains.
I love trains.
No, you do.
And I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that applied to real life trains.
You had such a narrow view of trains.
Yeah, I was picturing like Gomez Adams trains.
Yeah, you were picturing, like model trains or steam locomotives.
Yeah, like locomotives. I don't give a shit about locomotives.
No.
Saige, are you a member of the New Urbanist Memes for Transit-Oriented Teens Facebook group?
I'm not. What is that?
What a specific question, Mothman.
It's really
I hope they
good.
can hear you for that one.
My mic is...
Supposedly
you guys hear
on.
me? Hello, hello.
Wow.
They should be able to. They can hear you. What is that?
Drop a link, dog.
I'm going to pull up some transit memes while we're talking.
Okay, great.
It's very
We should
good.
probably start the news too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Silent Hill first. I think we gotta.
We gotta.
We're coming off
We gotta,
Halloween.
because otherwise I'm going to talk about the very specific Facebook group that I found.
What?
I also found a very specific Facebook group this week.
This week?
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of very specific Facebook groups.
I don't go on Facebook.
I don't either. I'm in a bunch of role-playing Facebook groups where everybody pretends to be boomers. They just post boomer memes.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of like
Minions.
Gen Z and millennials. Yeah.
Minions all the way down.
And I'm also in a bunch of American Girl doll adult fan groups.
Right, because that you were trying to infiltrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got in, and I've been in them for like 3 years now. I'm in a little too deep.
Yeah. You don't know whether you're undercover anymore or this is just who you are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone's got to pull you out.
Yeah.
No, mine was, it's called Utopian Scholastic Design of the 1990s.
Nice. That suits you.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's good.
Anyway, what about video games?
What about it?
What about, hey, I know what you're all thinking. What about video games? Won't somebody think of the video games?
Well, Konami kind of won't.
No, Konami absolutely will not. Konami will go out, Konami will do literally anything to get out of making a video game.
So let's talk about Silent Hill Ascension.
I love Silent Hill.
I also love Silent Hill. We are two huge Silent Hill fans in this house. This is not necessarily a Silent Hill game. We've been talking about it leading up to it, up to the release, that it was going to be in that kind of like interactive media. We figured out that it was more of a Bandersnatch than an Until Dawn. We were hopeful for an Until Dawn. We received what was more of a Bandersnatch, something you can watch, and the chat together would be making choices.
A social Bandersnatch.
A social Bandersnatch, which sounds dirty.
Social Bandersnatch is actually my drag name.
Nice. So, as promised, on Halloween, Silent Hill Ascension began its release with its first episode, and it was not terribly well received. Something we had talked about at the time, that there was going to be some sort of Battle Pass-esque subscription.
Right.
And we didn't know a lot of the details about what it would be, but they said it would not only be for Silent Hill, but for the future interactive things that they're going to be doing with this.
Yeah, so this is a whole company that is trying to create really a sort of experience and a whole platform for these interactive fiction pieces. Silent Hill is their first big one. This is a company called Genvid. Genvid is mostly known up until now for making a lot of like VR movie experiences.
Yes.
And they're trying to move, like, listen, VR was a bubble. Who could have known? Who could have seen that coming?
Sure.
And so they're trying to figure out what's next for them. And so Genvid partnered with Konami to make a series. An episode airs every week. People make decisions. They vote. They chat during the show.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, you see what your decisions did.
Yeah.
But it bad?
But it bad. One, I mean, letting the greater population control things through a chat when you have an unregulated audience is pretty difficult, especially when they're already upset that you're charging $20 for a battle pass on something that's not even a game.
Right. So a lot of people are like, what does this battle pass mean? What do you get? And it's
legendary stickers of bread.
Yeah, because it's just a watching platform.
Yep.
Really all you have is like weird little emotes and things like that.
Yeah.
To give out. So
that's it.
That's
like, you
it.
get little like sticker emotes to give out. The UI was really, really bad, and people were very upset about it. But eventually, they did have to go and turn the chat off. They had to turn the chat function off. And you might be like, oh, is it because people were so upset about the battle pass? Because people were angry? Because people were saying, expressing their frustrations?
Yeah, mostly about the fact that micropayments, microtransactions, and battle passes gave you extra votes and extra votes on decisions.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people that were like, hey, I get one vote and somebody who paid gets like 1,000 votes. It's like, you remember those Omaze things that show up on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you can win a dinner with this famous person.
Yeah.
And if you donate, you get 1,000 votes to,
Correct. But that's actually not why they turned the chat off primarily.
No, actually, surprisingly.
The main reason that they turned off the chat is because they wouldn't stop talking about cum.
Specifically, the semen of Hideo Kojima.
They really just fixated on this specific thing, and the internet can be so bad sometimes. And they just wouldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah. So basically, they kept bringing up Hideo Kojima because, of course, this is everybody's like, PT died for this. Yeah. That was the thing. Everybody was like, PT died for Silent Hill Ascension.
Which is not correct. These are unrelated things, essentially.
Yeah, but I get where they're coming from.
Hey, PT's great.
PT's great. And Konami could have had a really good Silent Hill on their hands there.
Yeah.
But, so they kept bringing it up. And then it just sort of turned into how they wanted Hideo Kojima to impregnate them.
Yeah, and Pyramid Head to appear with Big Boing Boing.
Yeah, they wanted Pyramid Head to appear with Big Boing Boing, need Pyramid Head to impregnate me is what chat was saying over and over and over.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that. And it's not just like, oh, that's a thing someone said. It's like people latched onto these specific phrases and were spamming them so much that they had to turn off the chat.
It was like going to a screening of Rocky Horror or The Room. It was like everybody knew what to say and exactly what to say, and they latched onto the honestly, gags.
Not terribly different of what they're yelling. Pretty comparable. If you've been to a Rocky Horror midnight showing, I mean, they're kind of comparable. So they said that right now they were putting the chat on a stickers only mode, which is also very funny because a lot of the stickers are exclusive to the like battle pass. While they figure out how to handle the moderation queue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stickers are limited, and they said hopefully I can get emojis in there too, so that they don't have to be limited to just people with the subscription. But immediately it was just limited to people with the subscription.
So good.
It's rough. It was a rough launch. They said, we're still a very young company. The CEO of the company that actually like made it, said, we're still learning. Most of the people who have worked on this project were only doing DLC projects before. We don't have deep experience in monetization. We're not great at it yet. We admit this.
Okay. This is where I go, out of all the companies that could have done this.
Why you then?
Why you? I want to know what connections this person had that made Genvid the only company that could have possibly done this. Genvid had to build an entire social platform for this. They built their own platform. They didn't license any technology. They didn't use any pre-existing technology. And they gave this small company with no experience in this kind of product at all the keys and said, just build a Twitch. How hard could it be to build a Twitch?
How hard could it be to build a Twitch? And they said, yeah, we could do it. It's the unearned audacity of a mediocre white man to say, sure, I could do it.
And it's also, it's the, why would we hire somebody who... Why would we hire moderators? Why would we hire people who go in and are on the higher end of community management? You know, this feels like a complete lack of... It's that... And in a way, it's that naive belief that people are like, what could people possibly do? People can do anything. Yeah. And I mean that as both a beautiful testament of humanity's potential and also as a fucking threat. People can do anything.
Right.
And they will.
I have to agree with Chafrikas on this, who said they used the I'm just a baby defense.
I'm just a baby.
Look, I'm just a baby. We're not good at this. I'm just a baby.
I don't have any money.
I mean, I could pay you in blocks.
I don't know.
I'm
just a baby.
It's really, really silly. There are so many people that are experienced in this. They could have gone so many directions with it. And them being like, we're not going to get it right out the gate. And I'm like, well, then why are you doing it? How much money were you given to do this?
So why would you go out the gate with Silent Hill then? And why wouldn't you do a limited test? Rich Bad at Game in the live studio audience brought up that Genvid got a $150 million investment in 2021. And I believe that one of the investors or sitting on the board in some way, and we'll have to confirm this, but I did hear that J.J. Abrams was involved in some way. Can we look that up, please, Mothman?
Yeah.
But I do recall that being mentioned.
Wild. Absolutely fucking bananas. And I think that it is a very silly response. I think that it is embarrassing.
Like a battle pass.
Yeah.
To watch.
We're still a very young company.
To watch TV episodes.
Yes. So J.J. Abrams, who was part of Bad Robot Games, said Gen Vid's experience represents a wild and innovative new way to immerse yourself in the horrors of Silent Hill, and they are directing the art and sound design for it.
Okay. So it doesn't seem like he owns Gen Vid in any capacity, but is involved in this project a little bit.
Yeah. So Bad Robot is doing the sound design, but did they invest? Are they partial owners, or are they just doing the audio?
Yeah.
It seems like they're just part of bringing it to life. They don't have a stake in Gen Vid, as far as I see.
People are like, I can't believe you can pay to win on a web series. That's wild.
That's so nuts. The idea of like just buying all the votes.
Yeah. Absolutely silly.
It's bonkers.
Truly and genuinely, people are very upset about it naturally, and I think that makes sense.
This is a bummer to me for a couple reasons. It's a bummer to me, number one, because of the Silent Hill of it all.
Oh, yeah. As Silent Hill fans, it's incredibly disappointing.
But it's also a bummer to me because I do believe, and I mean, I know you feel the same way.
Yeah.
There is a future in interactive narrative.
Oh, I love it.
There is a future.
We're literally on Twitch right now.
We're not, but not just that. Like more specific, like when you did when you did there here this week, you know, or anything like that. It's narrative. The audience is part of it.
Yeah.
It's interactive. There are game aspects to it. Like
absolutely,
all of that stuff is so fascinating.
Yeah.
And like this just seems like it seems like fumbling the easiest way to do it.
Right.
That's the thing. It feels like you're fumbling the easiest ways to do it.
I agree. I think that what they're doing is nothing that is in any way has the fans of Silent Hill in mind. You know what I mean? In no way does it have the fans of Silent Hill in mind for a single aspect of this. Not for the type of media that they're making, not for the company that they've chosen to go with, not for the financial structure of it. Nothing about it.
That's why I was like, is Bad Robot invested? Does Konami own a piece? Why this company and why this way? Or is it just Konami, as we know them, who is just like, we are happy to license our IP.
Oh, yeah.
That's like Konami now is mostly an IP licenser.
Yeah.
More than they are somebody who makes incredibly like AAA games.
Yeah.
We've got that. This is two Konami. I mean, I wouldn't say total blunders, but this is two bummers by Konami in 1 week. You've got your Silent Hill Ascension, and then you've got the Metal Gear collection, the Master collection, which people are like, not super happy about.
Double whiff it.
Double whiffing on Halloween week.
How dare you?
Double whiffing on a Friday, Konami. So there you go. Now that we know it's such a disaster, though, catch us in the Silent Hill Ascension chat room next week. Because now that it's a disaster, I gotta see it. I gotta be there. I'm gonna buy the bread sticker.
Yeah, $20 for bread.
Ooh,
it'll be the only way you can chat. Bread stickers all the way down.
Can I get some breads in the chat? They'll say.
Yeah. And the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Thing you can do. It's the only thing you get in the chat.
There's nothing else.
Somebody came into our chat just a moment ago and was like, are there any women on Twitch who don't wear suspiciously short skirts and low-cut tops? First of all, I'm wearing 3 shirts.
First of
my
all,
boobs are not even in the room with us.
That's up to the neck.
Second of all,
Monsignor.
Imagine hating boobs.
I can't. And number 3, unfrozen caveman here.
Yeah.
That's not even like a super
It's not
short
a short skirt. It's not a short skirt.
That's not a short skirt.
It's not even a short skirt. Imagine having legs. How dare women have legs?
Ew.
Disgusting.
In the world? Legs in the world?
Disgusting when women have
Boobs
legs.
in the world? What's next? Ass?
In the world?
In the world?
In the world?
In my Christian world?
Every time I see it, I'm just like, that's a dude who says he's straight. And then comes in and is like, how dare women have boobs?
I'm tired of attractive women having things.
Yeah.
Period. Why do attractive women have? Period. Yeah. How dare?
How dare?
Hey, in other gaming news.
Yeah?
Let's go to some gaming news. I want to talk about another thing that's angering the gamers.
Okay.
And this seems like a small thing, but then the more you think about it,
Okay.
the more you go, oh no, I too am angry, gamers.
Yeah.
I'm
hey,
actually-
gamers.
Hey, gamers, first of all, rise up. Mm-hmm. Second of all, let's go.
What that is a questionable choice by Microsoft this week. Again, whiffing it on Halloween week, everybody.
Yeah, so basically, if you start up your Xbox right now, your Series X or S, you are going to power up to a full page ad
For Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
and your options, like it's the whole thing.
It doesn't just pass, you have to actually click something to get out of it.
You have to
That's
click
the
through.
crazy part.
You have
That's
to-
the crazy part to me.
You have to, your choices are buy now, buy now more,
Yeah.
buy now more,
So it's buy
or
now,
exit.
get the Vault Edition upgrade, or exit. Exit being the furthest away button, naturally.
Of course.
Now, if I paid $500 for my machine,
Yeah.
it should be illegal for you to make me watch ads.
Sure. I mean,
That
this
should
is,
be illegal.
This is a slippery, erosive thing that's been
Yeah.
happening. If you turn on your smart TV,
Yeah.
I don't want to see an advertisement on the home screen of my smart TV.
Yeah.
But I do.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got myself a Fire Stick
Yeah.
because it's Android and you can like patch out the ads. And every time you do that, they update it so you can't patch out ads.
Yeah.
If I pay for a thing,
Yep.
I don't care about your pricing strategy. I don't care what your thing is. I don't care if your thing is like, hey, we sell the TV cheaper because we can show you the ad. I don't give a fuck why.
I don't give a
That's
fuck.
on your end.
Right.
My end is I bought this TV for this amount of money.
Yep.
And I don't want fucking ads.
I paid $500 for an Xbox. How dare you?
Yeah.
And
See, we're mad.
for Activision?
See, we're mad about it.
See, I'm extra mad because I fucking hate Activision.
Yeah.
I'm extra mad because fuck you, Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a trash game by trash people. Fight me.
It's also, there is something to the timing of it that makes it more infuriating where people are like, wow, they really won that antitrust suit. And immediately.
Immediately. They were like, no, we're going to be so good. You're going to love it. You're going to love it when we have Call of Duty. Guess what? I don't love it when you have Call of Duty.
You're going to love it when we own everything and we control your experience. It's going to be so good
Someone
for you.
in our own chat said, hey, now, I love Call of Duty. Don't.
Hey.
Don't. I don't know what to tell you. It's made by bad people. There's no like, look, you can love whatever game you want to love, and you cannot go against people criticizing it from a company that took advantage of, assaulted, and abused women for the entirety of its existence. When you're talking about and defending a company that has done nothing but have lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit of discrimination, don't be like, but my favorite game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I get it. You can love whatever game you want, but like, know why your game is being trashed on. And if you're like, I love it anyways, stand in that. But don't be like, now, hold on now. Call of Duty's off limits because I like it. No, it's not.
No,
it's not from the game made by a bunch of violent abusers. No, it's not.
Yeah. And it's like, look, even if you're like, hey, let's separate art from artist on this one, which I'm not saying that's what you were saying. But even if you're somebody who's like, let's separate art from artist.
Yeah.
You're left with a yearly franchise, same military shooter.
Yeah, you're left with a military propaganda shooter. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you're going to argue for something that's like, but the art, it better at least be art. It better at least be art and not military propaganda and not a pipeline to get teens into the military. I don't know about that.
Listen.
I don't know about that.
Even if you want to play a shooter.
Yeah.
There's so many shooters.
There's so many good shooters.
And there's so many shooters that don't have military.
There's so many good shooters.
I don't want this. There's so many good shooters, and this is the only time you're going to hear us say that.
Right. But like, there are great shooter games.
There absolutely are. And I don't like a shooter, and this is just a line for me. I'm not a fan of a realistic military shooter.
No.
I don't like that. I don't want a real gun.
No.
I don't want a real conflict. I don't want real people shooting other real people from real countries that have real names.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
That feels awful to me.
I don't like it one bit. I have to exist in the world.
Now, swap it into monsters and a giant laser or something.
Having a great time.
I'm loving everything about it.
Halo is removed enough for me.
Halo's great.
Halo is enough sci-fi.
The latest
for me.
Halo isn't great, But Halo's great.
But Halo's removed in sci-fi enough for me. Alex said, give me a portal gun. Would much prefer to have a portal gun personally than a realistic gun. Less of a shooter, but I'd much rather play with that personally.
My favorite thing is when you go to shoot a gun and it do the unexpected. Shoot a portal, shoot a flower, shoot some water.
Yeah.
That's great gun.
Love it.
Little flag that says bang.
I love it when a little flower on somebody's lapel shoots water.
Yes. Now we're talking. Where's that? Where's that in modern games today?
Everviolet said,
why doesn't somebody have a comically large container of seltzer water?
They do. The game is called Toontown. Bring it back, Disney, you cowards.
Wow, Disney. Feels like you're sitting on a gold mine and you're just not giving the people what they want.
Toontown was a great game.
Gun that go bang.
I was going to
Giant
say,
seltzer. Pie in face. This is shooter.
all of those things
This
happen
is
in
shooter.
Toontown. All of those things happen in Toontown. I'm not joking.
I know.
Everviolet said the only valid shooters are the ones that are a little bit gay and or silly. I would love from you a list of those games. And this is not to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I want to play them. Please recommend me shooter games that are a little bit gay or silly, because that sounds so fun. This is not a name 5 games. This is a recommend me games.
Please.
You've got great taste.
Please to give us those.
Please and thank you. That sounds awesome.
Whoa, Britt JK's got a great idea.
What's up?
A little Cheeto dressed trick-or-treater who pulls out a water pistol and says, now a gangster Cheeto. I'm a new guy. Give me more candy.
Whoa.
That's a shooter.
I opened Reddit yesterday.
I'm a second child.
Yeah. I opened Reddit yesterday when we were pulling stories for the show, and I always regret it. I hate to go to Reddit every time. And the top 2 stories of like the week, I often look at like what's been big this week.
What's been big this week?
And it was like the top one was like a family walking up to a candy bowl and stealing all of the candy from it.
Yes,
and
I saw
then the
that.
second one was another family that like came by a different candy bowl and saw it was empty, and like each of the kids took out a little candy from their bag.
Yeah.
And I was just like, don't we get tired of doing this? Don't we get tired of doing this every year?
Yeah.
Don't we get tired of watching this? We get it. I don't know. It's just that like back and forth of people who are like, I want to believe everyone's bad, and someone else who is like, but people are good. And it's like, yeah, we all kind of come out neutral.
Well, it's from
it shakes out neutral.
It's from 2 different subreddits too. Like one will be from r/the world is a fucking garbage fire.
Yeah.
And then the other one will be like r/hope for humanity or r/wholesome.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the fact that they're both, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not everything's a thing.
Not everything is a thing.
Not everything's a thing, dude.
Like,
sometimes, listen, when I was a kid, sometimes I took a whole handful from that bucket.
and here's the thing.
Sometimes I just took one.
Why are we posting doorbell recordings of kids taking too much candy?
Dude,
I think that's weird as shit.
Ring cameras are ruining the internet.
Like, damn, hey, maybe don't post videos. And like not blurring out these kids' faces,
No.
mind you. Fully posting these kids, even the kids that gave the candy. Don't post videos of random children on the internet from your doorbell. That's fucking weird.
It's fucking weird. I
And
feel like
kids are gonna do weird shit. Sometimes adults are gonna do weird shit too. In that one, even adults were walking up and stealing the candy. That sucks, man. I have to think one of 2 things. Anytime something is food-based, I have to think if somebody is that desperately taking any of it, they probably needed it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you see someone stealing any type of food, and we're not going to judge what the nutritional value of that food is, because we do not enforce a lack of joy on poor people.
Right.
Mind your business.
Or it's just a small child with a goopy brain going, ooh, candy.
Yep.
Like that's all it is.
Yeah. That's it.
Reddit has unfortunately become
Yeah.
and listen, Reddit's been a lot of things
Yeah.
its history. And would I say that they've been good things? Mostly no. But
Yeah.
Reddit has become, on the front page, the most popular page, it's half doorbell camera videos.
Yeah.
And the other half are text messages or am I the asshole? And half of them are made up. Half of them are clearly made up to farm outrage
Oh,
or
100%.
clout.
Yeah. They're like, I got into a fight with my girlfriend, so I threw her into the moon. Am I an asshole?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole? My boyfriend's mom actually shit in my shoes this morning, and I told her she shouldn't do that. Am I the asshole?
And she said, "My house, my rules." Posted in r/teenagers.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole here?
Slash real.
Listen.
Hashtag real.
Please, Reddit.
Yeah.
Bring back the API access for everyone so we can get robo mods again.
I did have a couple of trick-or-treaters this year.
Yeah. Wow.
I bought so much candy. I was just reaching handfuls into these kids' bags. I was so excited. And I was talking as we were like starting, I was having a little Halloween party. And everybody was like, well, do you want to just leave a bowl outside? And I was like, once the party, like if it gets louder and I know I won't be able to hear the door or something, I will. But I remember as a kid, and we were having this debate. There were people at the party who were like, no, when I was a kid, I loved that they left the bowl out because then I could pick whatever candy I wanted.
Right.
When I was a kid, it was so important to me that they answered the door.
Oh, I loved the interactions.
I loved the interaction. I wanted to do the thing. I didn't just want the candy. I wanted to say trick or treat.
And as an adult, I also want the interaction.
I also want the interaction.
Yeah.
I want to compliment their costume and tell them happy Halloween.
Yeah, I want to be like,
I want to create a little memory.
Yeah, what have you? Yeah. Oh, what kind of candy have you gotten? And like, oh, that's
I want
so
it to be a
cool.
special night that they remember, that they have fun, and I want them to see adults participating. You know what I mean? And not just other children.
Yeah, wow. Oh, are you a little Star-Lord? And then I give him a wedgie on his way out. Like
That's participating.
That's participating. And that's a formative core memory for that kid.
Right. They'll always remember when they said trick or treat and then you gave them a wedgie.
That's right. And they'll think twice. Yeah. They'll think twice about that costume.
Yeah.
No, I love that too. It made me, I've only had one place in my adult life. It was the first place I lived when I moved here to LA where kids came by.
Yeah.
And I buy candy every year hoping that there will be kids.
Oh, yeah.
And also thinking to myself, and if there aren't, that's a little something for me.
Sure, yeah.
For being
Candy's not going to go to waste.
For being a good person and thinking about kids.
Yeah.
But there was only one place where kids ever came by, and it was ridiculous how happy it made me to just like see the little kids in their costume and be like, wow, did you make that? Or like, wow, is that your favorite character? And just see how excited they were.
It's great.
Oh, the little kids were when you open up the door and they go like, bah, because they're in a scary costume.
Love it.
That shit's the best.
Love it.
And you go, oh.
Yeah. So here's my question for the chat, because both answers are valid. Did you prefer when people just left a bowl out and you got to choose whatever candy you wanted, or did you want the interaction? And there were so many people at our Halloween party as we were talking about it that were like, no, I loved when they left the bowl out. I love being able to just go up and get my candy. And for me, I was like, this is a transaction and we both have to do our part.
Yeah. And also, like when you remove the fun from the transaction, it's the most boring transaction. I'm walking around
a grocery store.
I'm walking around in a costume that's probably uncomfortable after 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And what for what?
For what?
For what?
For what?
For what? I could go to the store and buy No. There's supposed to be an activity that happens.
Right.
It's not just supposed to be I walk up and I choose candy from a shelf.
Yeah.
I got store, I got house, I got kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I don't have?
What?
Adults placating me all the time.
So tonight's the night, baby.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, Call of Duty.
Enough about Call of Duty.
Enough about Call of Duty.
Let's continue games and let's talk about something. Continuing a little dystopian.
Okay.
The next Sims 4 expansion pack just released, and it is The Sims 4 for rent. Not Sims 4 rent. Sims 4 for rent.
Okay. Sims for
I have a little note.
I know. It feels like it was right there.
Yeah. Sims 4 rent was right there, but that's okay. This is the next major DLC in the Sims 4 line, and it's a pretty big expansion pack that is adding multifamily housing to The Sims.
Oh, if you want to be a cosmopolitan city dweller, you can do so now.
Sure, except for with an expansion pack, they never just add one thing. They've got to really add to the game.
No, it's a pack.
It's a whole pack. It's got to come with stuff. So in addition to adding, like multifamily housing, they added some interesting things to make it a more realistic renter experience.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you can either become a landlord or rent in it.
My heart actually hurts.
Yeah. You can buy investment properties
No.
and collect money on it. You might face tenant revolt if you allow your ratings to slip to too low.
But just like in the real world, tenant revolt doesn't matter.
Because tenants can experience evictions, they've actually added a fear of eviction. So in The Sims, there are actual fears that your character has. So a new literal fear that your Sims 4 characters can actually experience is the fear of being evicted due to misbehavior. And there is now a toxic mold that can kill you.
Hey, The Sims? Is there not one person on your dev team who lives a real life? Why would you put this in the game? Why would you do this? I already have this fear.
Yeah.
I don't need this fear in The Sims.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. They also added like a little more breaking and entering and theft in apartment buildings. You can deal with like a broken water heater.
Cities breed crime.
Yeah.
Tenants are bad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You sometimes have to deal with neighbors playing loud music.
Sure.
And death by malicious, uncontrolled mold. So,
in my San Francisco apartment, that was far too expensive. We had a bathroom that was clearly added by the landlord afterwards.
Yeah.
And black mold for days.
Yeah.
For days.
Yeah.
And we kept trying to get them to do something about it. They would paint over the black mold.
Yeah.
And that's all they would do.
That's the landlord special.
Do you know what the craziest thing is, Saige?
What is it?
This was not in some big apartment building. This was in an old Victorian in San Francisco. We had the bottom floor. The landlords had the top. The black mold was also in their house.
And they were painting over for them too?
And we had windows because it's a historic building. We had windows that not only didn't lock, they didn't close all the way.
No.
But upstairs,
that's legal.
Upstairs, they put in brand new windows for themselves. Yeah,
of course.
And then we were like, "Hey, what's going on
with windows that don't shut?"
Ugh. Like a peasant, like a renter.
That's not a livable condition.
Like a
for
tenant.
A homeowner.
Ugh.
It's not a livable condition for a homeowner.
No, not for a homeowner. I was just like, do you think the black mold stops on my floor because I'm poor and you're not?
Yeah.
Do you think that's like the black mold is like, oh no, I'm attracted to pores?
Yeah.
I would never
Only
go into
dirty poor people have mold.
Ugh.
We're clean rich people.
Yeah.
We don't have mold.
We don't have mold. Ugh.
Ugh. Gross.
Oh. We better get some new windows to keep these poor people and their mold out.
I also had black mold in my home.
Why would you?
They had to rip out my entire bedroom wall.
I remember this.
Because it was so much. And I had been sick for some time. I think I know why now. I was like, why do I always feel sick here? Turns out there was a bunch of black mold in my wall.
This is why people thought they were haunted.
Yeah. Black mold.
This is one of the reasons why people thought they were haunted back in the day.
Cursed.
Yeah, it's just I've been cursed somehow.
Someone cursed me.
Whenever I'm in the home, I'm sick.
Hey, I do think we should go back to saying that though. Like my landlord cursed me with black mold.
No, anything that's bad in your apartment, your landlord absolutely cursed you.
Your landlord is cursing you.
Because it's within their power to get rid of it.
Yep.
I don't like this Sims expansion.
There are some positives. You can throw potlucks and have pool parties with your neighbors.
That's nice.
Neighbors also have little traits. Like you might have like a little bit of like a nosy busybody neighbor.
Do we have a wacky neighbor that just pops in? It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I got a scheme.
A neighbor that like parties a little too loud.
Sure.
You know. So their interest is in more gameplay mechanics. But this is so funny and dystopian to me. For more than anything, it was the added fear of eviction that really pushed it over the edge.
That's too real. That's too real.
That really pushed it over the edge for me.
I don't like it.
Which is pretty. It's pretty funny in a horrible way. Like in a horrible way, it's hilarious.
You can find out that your tenants are hiding a pet from you.
Right. Hey, everybody.
You can find out that
you don't have to tell your landlord shit.
You don't have to tell your landlord shit.
Look, I'm just saying it. I don't get like in Minecraft or whatever. I don't know. For legal reasons, I mean this in Minecraft. You don't have to tell your landlord shit. Okay? Fuck your landlord.
Yeah.
They don't owe you. They owe you things that they're not giving you, so you don't owe them anything.
If they want a transactional relationship, It's a transactional relationship.
Yep.
Your landlords and your employers don't need to know anything about you.
Correct. Why do you have pet things? You're pet sitting. Do you understand?
Why do you have pet things? Don't kink shame.
None of their business.
Sorry.
Absolutely none of their business. The amount of places that I have lived that if the landlord has to come over, me and Ghost go for a little drive, buckle Ghost carrier into the front seat, and we go wait down the street while they do what they got to do. Fine. He loves it. It's an adventure.
I will borrow 2 other dogs, put them in a trench coat with my dog, and then a little hat.
And say, that's no dog, that's a producer.
Say, that's my producer. This is a business lunch.
Please show a little respect.
You as my landlord are interrupting my business lunch.
Yeah.
If you want the rent, you got to let me conduct business.
Yeah.
For like 3 or 4 more months because I got to do a few more business before you know what I mean.
I did want to add, they did add the cringe personality trait to Sims with this expansion pack. You can now be cringe.
Whoa!
I am cringe, but I am free.
Yeah, if you up your characters, your Sims cringe to full level, they simply turn into pure light.
Yeah.
And rise up and disappear.
I fucking love it. Embrace the cringe, everybody. Embrace it. Enjoy it. I'm going to put next to, I tell everyone about my little sticky note, and Alex and I were just talking about this on Halloween. I have a little sticky note on my computer that says, I am not afraid to be seen trying. I'm going to add another one next to it that says, I am not afraid to be cringe.
I have that tattooed on my abs.
Yeah, he does. I wasn't sure where you were going.
In big Gothic letters.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to be cringe.
That's right.
I'd get it.
Yeah.
I'd get that tattoo.
Along with my no regrets neck tattoo.
But you know I'd get almost any tattoo.
Yeah, I know you would.
I put the word run on my leg impulsively, and I'm not even sure what it means anymore.
Nobody does. Let's talk about some more games.
Let's do it. Let's talk about more games.
One of the biggest games to ever come out and then exist is Starfield.
Oh yeah.
It came out and it's out.
It is.
Here's the thing about Starfield. It's a big deal. Starfield's coming. Starfield came out and that is true.
That is true.
It is out.
Yeah.
Starfield is a perfectly game.
It's such a game.
It's one metric video game.
We talked about this like last week or the week before or so, and we were talking, asking players in the chat. It was actually when Josh was here subbing in, of like, hey, if you were somebody who was super excited for it, got super into Starfield, are you still playing? Are you still invested? Are you still excited? And a lot of the response was not really. A lot of people had moved on rather quickly, had gotten as far as they wanted to get in it, and were feeling a little bored by it.
A lot of people, we definitely heard a lot people saying, I'm glad it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
They're not saying it's a bad game. They're just saying like, all right, I've done it.
And
It's no Skyrim.
No. And one of the complaints about Starfield was that when you went to a planet, they were all kind of samey.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot to do on these planets.
No.
There were a few outposts. There were a few mines.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd travel all the way across the galaxy to an uncharted planet and 3 ships would land next to you.
Yeah.
Like very strange, you know.
Yeah.
And Bethesda made a statement about this, about people saying, hey, these planets seem kind of dull a little bit.
Yeah.
Bethesda said, hey, that's on purpose. Because when astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there, but they certainly weren't bored.
They said, make your own fun in our video game.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, they got to the moon and there was nothing there? That's what space is.
Why do they sound like your weird grandparents when they're like, oh, you kids and all your technology and your short attention spans? When I was a kid, all I had to do was stare at a wall to be entertained.
Here's a stick. Go play in the dirt and don't put your eye out with it. That's what life was like.
Yeah.
Okay, Bethesda, sure.
Okay.
This is what space exploration was like for astronauts. 2 questions. Number 1, do the astronauts have psychic space powers from touching a weird rock?
The ones that landed on the moon?
Yeah. Because if not, then maybe you've set some expectations for what space is going to be like.
I would say Starfield is not an entirely 100% science-based space game.
No, it is not.
I would say it's not a 100% science-based space game.
And then, number two, why build a game that big to purposely make it boring?
Yeah.
Like, that's really weird. The whole, we did that on purpose. I don't know, man. That seems like a kid who tripped and was like, I did that to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Did you think it was funny? I did it because I thought you would think it was funny. It doesn't ring true to me. Saying like, and the other thing is there's something else going on with realistic space exploration.
Yeah.
There's a feeling of danger.
Right.
The people who were on the moon weren't bored because they had experiments to run. They were worried about the level of oxygen they had. They were worried about dying in space.
Right.
I never feel any of that in Starfield.
No.
Click planet, go planet.
Right.
Click planet, go planet.
Hopefully find something on planet. Hopefully have a good time on planet. Why go to planet?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not find something on planet. Planet probably empty. Planet probably same outpost you've been to.
Like, look, you can take that stance on it.
Yeah, it's a weird stance.
That's okay. I just don't really agree with it. I don't really want it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
If you're gonna make most of the planet sparse, then I mean, be a game developer about it. What does that mean? How much do I have to work on resource management?
Is there a scarcity thing where it's like, oh shit, I can only be on this planet for so long before I run out of oxygen and the things that I need here to survive it, to get to a resource I'm going to find in a mine.
And then if most planets are sparse, then that's okay. But then what about like the Wind Waker thing of most islands are nothing, but this one has a cool treasure or a mini game or something. Like if I'm playing Whack-A-Mole with planets and trying to get to all these planets, is there a cool planet?
Right.
Can I have one cool one?
We've got some contributions from the live studio audience.
Yeah.
Flying Squirrel said, it's realistic. Space, super boring. It's just reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean space is boring? Well, then why'd you make a space game?
Yeah.
Now.
That's like, sorry, Nordic countries are boring. Okay. That's a stance to take.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe it, but what are you going to do about it? Oh, we're going to add dragons and monsters and yeah. Okay, space is boring. Great. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Nothing. That's realistic. Here's a very hot take, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Crazy Zony said, Starfield is a reskin of Skyrim.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I see where you're coming from. Because there's a lot of...
it's a Bethesda game.
There's a lot of Bethesda in the game.
Yeah, Bethesda made both games for sure. But here is, I think, the biggest testament to that. How many times have you bought Skyrim?
Probably 10.
Yeah, I've bought it at least 4 times. We're all still going back and playing and loving Skyrim. Mm-hmm. Starfield has been out for 2 months?
Yeah.
People are already bored of it.
Yeah.
People are already bored of Starfield. And it's not even like shit on Starfield. And if you're enjoying Starfield, I do love that for you. It's just a matter of, they're very different games, I think.
Absolutely.
And what it really is Skyrim is what people wanted from Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
People would love if Starfield was Skyrim in space. I would.
That's what I was hoping for.
I would love if it was Skyrim in space.
There was a density to Skyrim. Mm-hmm. Even though there was a lot of just walking around in the woods or bunny hopping up a mountain.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of, there were little things to do everywhere and they all felt somewhat different. There were tons of little storylines.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell me Skyrim in space, my expectation is every planet I land on will be, not every planet, but at least some of the planets, each planet will be a Skyrim unto itself.
Yeah.
There was also just a level of excitement and danger to Skyrim that I never felt in Starfield. Like in Skyrim, I definitely felt that thing of, I'm going to go down into this cave and I might die right now.
Yeah.
With Starfield, I was always like, I'm going into this outpost or into this mine and I'm going to be fine.
Right.
I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, very interesting. Spirit of the Stairwell said No Man's Sky isn't boring. Plenty of space games are fun. Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah, 100%.
And No Man's, I would say that there's more to do from a gameplay perspective in No Man's Sky right now than there probably.
There's a lot of fun space games.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fun space games.
Yeah.
There's no argument that space is a boring setting and that's the problem.
No.
But that is Bethesda's defense for it. Which is very interesting.
It's so odd. It's the Starfield thing is so odd to me.
Yeah.
It was so hyped, and I'm bummed for people who didn't get what they want out of it. I'm bummed for Bethesda because obviously they worked for a very long time on it.
Yeah.
And they worked very hard on it. But I'm just, it's a bummer when something huge that's that anticipated doesn't come together in a way that we all hoped.
Right. Yeah.
It's
always a bummer. Let's talk about one more video game news thing before we move on. Let's talk a little bit about Baldur's Gate.
The Baldur's Gate community,
the horniest community of all,
is a little bummed right now. Particularly the speedrunners community.
Well, a particular subsect of the speedrunners community.
Listen, speedrunners are our most perfect children, and every time a game removes something that removes a speedrunner's chosen way to speedrun a game, well, it's a heartbreaking day, and this is a particularly heartbreaking day.
This specific subsect of the speedrunning community is mourning the loss of their favorite path to the sex percentage speedrun.
That's right, sex percent. If you're unfamiliar with the Baldur's Gate speedrunning community, maybe you don't understand the deep intricacies of speedrunning.
Yeah.
As a speedrunning aficionado and enthusiast, let me explain to you what the sex percent is. Who have sex quickest in Baldur's Gate?
There was a quick path basically with Lae'zel that has been patched out of the game because it was not supposed to be that quick and easy. And they don't like it.
Sex percent was how quickly can you bone down in a in not a Skyrim, in a Baldur's Gate. Because it is a horny game.
Yeah, and the answer was very quick.
Very quickly. There is a way to get Lae'zel to sleep with you within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Which basically, like, are you getting down on a mind flayer ship?
I don't know, man.
Are you in one of those pods?
Truly, no idea.
You getting down in the pods with a Githyanki?
I don't know. You know what my run's like.
Saige has the
Saige is playing the demisexual run.
Saige is playing the they were flirting?
Yeah. So
they were flirting, we were at work.
I'm sorry. I would have to recontextualize this right now. My brain is not in that.
Yeah, no.
I'm adventuring at the moment. So let me I have to kind of shift gears a little bit because I didn't know that's my bad. That's the run I'm playing. That's it.
Yeah. I don't understand how the sub 2 minute run works.
Oh.
So basically, like,
it doesn't anymore.
Who
cares?
Yeah, they changed it. Basically, Lae'zel now, you not only have to gain high approval from her, you must also prove yourself worthy through actions.
Wow. Yeah, that's probably how it was supposed to be the whole time.
Sure. I just love
that was just a mistake, honestly.
I love that they accidentally hornied their way to one of the most popular games of all time, though.
Yeah, they did.
They did not mean for it to be as horny as it is.
No, they meant for it to be horny, but it was hornier than they anticipated.
There was a number that they screwed up. There was a variable that they screwed up that made everybody way horny in Act 1.
Yeah.
And it turns out that's exactly what everyone wanted.
Yeah.
I love that.
There was actually one more piece of gaming news that I do want to talk about, one that's particularly big for Sages.
The second horniest game out there now.
Not true. Not horny at all.
It's Baldur's Gate 3 and then this game.
No, Disney Dreamlight Valley. A perfect
second horniest game.
A perfect farming sim, don't ruin this for me, Anthony, is getting a huge update. I think we talked about it on Monday, I want to say, that we learned that it is no longer coming free to play, but they promised that by doing so, they were going to keep giving big updates, keep adding to the game and make it worthwhile, prevent it from being microtransaction hell.
And it looks like it's not disappearing from Game Pass and other services.
Not as of yet. No announcement on that. So far, so good. And I think this Disney Dreamlight Valley showcase that they did, their very first showcase, was a great way to follow up on that and to show that they are following through on those promises of the quality of the game. Yeah. So as you know, Disney Dreamlight Valley is finally leaving early access, which intended was going to be going free to play. But with leaving early access, we've got a couple of very, very exciting updates to it. There's some content updates of like some Beauty and the Beast stuff, some Tangled stuff that's very fun and cool. But the biggest,
they made Scrooge less horny. They turned down the Scrooge horniness.
That was also a mistake.
That was a huge. Scrooge was not. You were not supposed to be able to get Scrooge into bed sub 2 minutes.
No. So in the 25-minute showcase, they talked about a lot of things. The biggest, in my opinion, was multiplayer. This has been on their roadmap that they laid out a while ago, and we weren't sure when it's going to happen. We are officially getting multiplayer on December 5th.
Now, how deep do the multiplayer go?
The multiplayer, I would say, runs very comparably to Animal Crossing. You can invite people over to your valley, they can shop in your store, and you can exchange items with them by setting them down in front of them and letting somebody pick them up. So it's not like you can start a valley together at this time, which would be something that I would really, really love, like Stardew Valley style.
Sure.
But I still think that's very, very fun. Being able to trade items. Everybody's store has different items in it every day. So being able to go to other people's stores is very fun. Maybe somebody got something from an event that you missed and you'd be able to get it now. And you can just run around and farm and have fun with your friends.
Yeah, so extremely Animal Crossing level of...
Very Animal Crossing level.
Okay.
I'm very into it. I love it. That's exactly what I was expecting and wanting and hoping for. Like I said, still hopeful for someday being able to co-run a valley. Ooh. Love that. We also got the announcement of it coming to Apple Arcade, the mobile version of Disney Dreamlight Valley.
That's great.
That's going to be great, and that's going to be huge. And this game is well suited for it, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that recently, so I'd never done Apple Arcade, but playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure really gave me a lot of we can do some cool shit on Apple Arcade games.
Dude, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, particularly the multiplayer, because that launched with multiplayer, it was very Animal Crossing.
I'm oh shit. That means a game like this could probably do very, very well on it. We also got the announcement.
Scrooge now, by the way, it takes 3 minutes to sleep with him and you have to sign a prenup.
Anthony, please.
He's extremely into a prenup, Scrooge.
Anthony.
You have to promise not to steal his lucky dime.
We're also getting...
I'm a Scrooge fucker, Saige. I was born a Scrooge fucker, I'll die a Scrooge fucker.
Don't interrupt me to talk about Scrooge fucking.
You never let me talk about Scrooge fucking. I have to interrupt.
Anyways, also coming to the game is Jack Skellington next month, which is very interesting. I think it's very fun because we got a little bit of Nightmare Before Christmas items stuff for this Halloween update that they did.
Yeah, I saw somebody doing a zero. They had a zero or a ghost dog.
Yeah, so there's a zero. There's a really cute little Oogie Boogie onesie that you can get. Super cute. Those items are only available until the 8th. You can no longer do the activities to get the points, but you can still buy things if you have them.
Sure.
And then Jack Skellington is coming next month, which makes sense. They're splitting that Halloween to Christmas of Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's the perfect time.
I think that that's really, really great.
How interesting, but you would romance Jack Skellington though.
I would if I could.
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Of course I would. They also announced their first paid expansion.
And it's fuck Jack Skellington. No?
It isn't.
Okay.
Let me have this.
Are he and Sally married? Is that why?
Anthony, stop ruining this. With every ounce of seriousness in my heart, leave me alone. Anyways, this is going to be a $30 expansion, which is a little spicy pricey. The game itself is a $30 game, but it's huge. It's massive. It's called A Rift in Time. It's got a full story to it featuring Jafar as the main villain, a new narrative with 3 acts. It'll start in December with the other 2 parts of the story launching sometime in early 2024.
And it works with all of your Disney Infinity toys.
It does not.
Okay.
It will introduce Eve from WALL-E. It will introduce Gaston, and it will introduce Rapunzel. And 2 more new characters will come up in those later 2 acts that are coming up later in 2024.
Biblical Eve and Lucifer.
Yes, Anthony. Thank you so much.
What's the story of the story? What do you do? Are you finding out how Mickey killed Minnie?
No,
Okay.
It is set in Eternity Isle.
All
It
right.
is a new world featuring 3 distinct biomes. So if you have expanded and unlocked all of the places in your current island, it's like a whole new place that has 3 individual places to unlock. New plants, new animals, new cooking ingredients, lots of fun stuff. It's essentially getting another valley of game. So
It's a valley in a valley?
yeah, it's like a valley in a valley, I would say.
Whoa.
It looks like it's pretty big. They say that the new world is about the same size as the original valley found in the main game. So it's a $30 paid expansion, but it does seem like they're trying to make it worth it if it's another game's worth of content basically in it.
It's kind of It's kind of, I don't know. And you can tell me because you're the one that plays and you're the one that like talks more to other people who play. Saying, oops, it's not free to play. And oops, we need another $30 from you is a little rough. It's a little rough to announce at the same time.
I agree with that. I do. I'm not surprised by it, but I agree with it that I don't love it. What I will say is it's so not mandatory.
Sure.
You know?
But it's not mandatory in the way all this stuff in multiplayer games isn't mandatory. It's like if all my friends are over at the Glittering Dunes and I can't go there.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works?
No. If I have the valley expanded in mine and you want to come over to my island, you can come to mine.
And I can go to your expanded valley?
Yeah. I've unlocked it, essentially. You just wouldn't have it on yours.
I would love to see an animated cutscene where you walk through the portal to the valley and then Donald Duck just hits it.
Yeah. He can't come.
And then I comfort him.
Yeah?
And then take him back to no.
You've even switched ducks.
I have needs.
That's it. I don't want to talk about Dreamlight Valley anymore. You've ruined it. It's fine. We'll continue talking about Disney. We're going to business news. Disney is officially buying the rest of Hulu from Comcast. There was a 33% stake that was previously owned by Comcast and NBC Universal. And we've talked before, Anthony's always said they think that they're going to try to shake it loose.
I thought they were going to completely divest from it and leave Comcast holding the bag.
Yeah.
Not what they're doing. I think this is them saying, well, we could do that, and it probably makes short-term business sense, but that leaves Comcast with a platform that they could build up.
Yeah. So instead, they are buying out Hulu. They will officially fully own Hulu. And I'm very curious to see what this means because the first thing that you and I both said is Hulu goes away. Everything's Disney Plus now. Disney wants everything Disney branded. But then I think about all of the things that are in the Hulu library that they could make money off of that they might not want on Disney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are non-Disney properties. And now we already have that a little bit in that we have the Fox properties on Disney Plus. So maybe they're going to be chill about it.
But I was also wondering about some of these Fox properties that, you know, Disney Plus has that Disney name on it. And even though we know Disney owns 30% of all media, there are certain things that have the Disney name and certain things that don't.
Yeah.
If I am on Disney Plus and I'm thinking about the Disney name, is that a place where I want to put a lot of like, do I put It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Disney Plus?
Right.
No, I don't. Where does that live? That probably lives on Hulu.
Yeah.
Do I want to put like Legion? You know, do I want to put live sports on Disney Plus, or do I want to keep that to Hulu?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to keep them as two different products. Plus, they get to charge you double subscriptions, and they love that.
It's possible. I still see the potential of a merge. I do think that there is an inevitability of that, the Crunchyroll Funimation inevitability. I think that eventually it all becomes Disney Plus, and that's the plus. It is Disney plus other things. Kodoroku brings up a good point saying they have like the Netflix Punisher series on there. So like at that point, do we really, it's not a kid-friendly streaming platform.
Yeah.
There are kids accounts that you can have on it. So it makes sense. I could see that still happening eventually.
I feel like, I do feel like when they have things like the Marvel, like the Netflix Punisher on there.
Yeah.
I think they have it on there because with
Marvel.
brand alignment and Marvel, it makes sense. But I also have a feeling that they look at it on there and they're like, this is our family platform.
I don't know. I think they want to be everything.
It could stay.
Unsupervised Nerds said in Canada, we already have Hulu stuff on Disney Plus because we don't have Hulu. Also, something very interesting to look at.
Yeah.
If it's something they're already doing in other regions, there's no reason to say that they wouldn't do it here.
Well, and they do stuff now that's Hulu gets things in America on a limited basis. And then after 30 or 60 days, it'll move to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or it'll move to another streaming platform. And that's sort of, in that way, they also use Hulu because there is that like ad supported, like cheaper platform of Hulu. They use it as their sort of like, hey, if you like this, you could go to Disney Plus and there's
also
so much.
The very expensive parts of Hulu because Hulu has live TV.
That's right.
Which is a very expensive subscription. So I'm curious to see if they integrate live TV into Disney Plus. Because there isn't a version of that right now. Like, is it live TV of the Disney Channel? Is it just the Hulu live TV channels? I don't know. I'm very curious to see what that means. You know, corporate monopoly.
I'm very interested to see how long it is until we're trading USB thumb drives in alleys in the night to get independently produced media.
Yeah. But hey, there's a couple other pieces of Hulu news, oddly enough.
Hey, congrats, Hulu.
Hulu has renewed the Futurama revival for 2 more seasons.
That's great. I still have not watched the Futurama.
I haven't watched the new revival either. I watched the last revival, loved it.
Yeah.
Futurama is always great. Futurama is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's one of my go-to comfort shows.
Same.
It's great. And the last time they did a revival, everybody was nervous. I watched it and I was like, that's great. They just made more Futurama. And they really did.
Yeah. I'm sure this one is like that too. It's so weird.
Yeah.
There's just something about it where it's like, it's come back back like twice now. And then there was also the movie. And so it's like, it doesn't feel as urgent to me anymore.
No, I just forget about it.
Yeah.
I just forget about it.
I'll probably just watch another 2-hour YouTube video about a strange niche subject.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't possibly have time to keep up with the show.
No, a half-hour show? I'm sorry. I have a 6-hour video about the history of EVE Online to watch.
Exactly. And in the second strange piece of Hulu news.
I saw this and I sent this to Saige and I was like, oh my God, this is the most Saige that's ever. I was so excited to leave this little pebble in your hand.
Thank you.
And walk away.
Thank you very much. Hulu is now in development on a new chapter of Prison Break. Okay, everybody laughs at me when I talk about my love for that show. However, this is also their second reboot. This is like their second and a half reboot, technically. This is their second and a half reboot, which also means there are other people that love this show.
Oh, I was going to say, I know a few people who are into Prison Break are ridiculously into Prison Break.
Because as somebody who
Tim Geddes is very into Prison Break.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, he's very into Prison Break.
I gotta talk to Tim about Prison Break.
Yeah, a few of our friends over at Kinda Funny are into it.
There has to be other people because this keeps happening. So first, there was the 4 seasons of the television series. Okay?
Starring Captain Cold.
And Heatwave.
And Heatwave.
And then they did an ending that was real fucking weird. And they were like, sorry, we rushed that ending. We didn't mean to do that. Then they did the movie. The movie was already a soft reboot where they were like, let me explain to you what happened in the year leading up to this weird time jump that we did at the end of the show.
Okay.
Movie, okay? The final break.
Yeah.
Okay? A women's prison. Right?
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Sarah's serving time. Then we got another reboot.
It's not a spoiler.
That was
None of us know who Sarah is.
2017.
Yeah.
In 2017, they did another season. Now, in it, a significant character, and I won't say which because you guys should probably watch Prison Break, and I'm not going to give you spoilers for a 12-year-old show.
It was the Mirror Master.
A very significant character was dead at the end of the last series and movie.
The trickster.
Then they do this reboot in 2017, and they're like, JK, not dead. Don't worry about it.
Not dead?
Not dead. Wasn't dead. Don't worry about it. It's cool. We can do more. And they brought Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, Captain Cold and Heatwave, back to play the lead brothers, and they did a full season of it. It was not very good.
Oh.
It was not.
I'm sorry.
It was not very good. That's okay. It had been a weird amount of years. It's weird that they did it.
Yeah.
It had been like, I don't know, 8 years, I want to say.
Sure.
Since it ended, and there was no reason for that to exist. So the fact that they have done all of that, and they're doing another, now this one is not intended to follow the characters from the original series.
This is being done by the showrunner of Mayans MC, the Sons of Anarchy spinoff, and it is supposed to be set in the world of Prison Break, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we could assume because this is a TV show and it is the namesake of this old TV show.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can
get
expect
cameos.
a little cameos.
They
some
just
guests.
say that Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, Michael and Lincoln Schofield and Burroughs, will not be the main characters. That's all we know so far.
But they might be there.
They might be there.
Are they going to bring their cold ray and their heat gun?
They don't really do that here.
Okay.
They don't really do that here.
Seems like a missed op. Little miss op
here.
Are you excited?
I'm confused.
Okay.
I'm mostly confused. This is also a very funny, so this is an article from comicbook.com.
Yeah.
And this is a hilarious way to write this. So it says wrapped up the dangling plot threads in 2017. Miller and Purcell returned to the characters for Prison Break miniseries. The following sentence is, In the time since, Miller, who is gay, has said he will no longer play straight characters in TV and film roles, and as a result, he would not return to Prison Break after that. So we don't know what happens there because all they said is it won't be the main characters, but they also haven't confirmed that they will come back to it. Specifically, that was a stance that Wentworth Miller took a while back when a lot of the discrimination was popping up in Russia, actually, directly in response to some of the like discrimination of the like regime in Russia. He was invited out to a film festival and said like, I am taking a hard stance. I am both coming out publicly and also taking a hard stance that like, I shouldn't have to just play straight characters.
Yeah. He was very adamant about that. He had also been getting like a lot of weird stuff from fans, a lot of stuff with fans like, you know, obviously fans shipping him with other people and trying to like dig into his relationships and stuff. And he was just like, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And I shouldn't. And I do like the stance of I shouldn't have to do this to have a career.
In 2020, he said, I just don't want to play straight characters. Their stories have been told and told. So no more Michael. If you were a fan of the show, hoping for additional seasons, I understand that this is disappointing. I'm sorry. If you're hot and bothered because you fell in love with a fictional straight man played by a real gay one, well, that's your work.
That's good.
That's great.
That's very good.
You love to see it. Yeah, absolutely do. And Captain Cold was canonically queer.
Yep.
So you do love to see it. I'm just so confused because every time I talk about Prison Break, people make fun of me for loving Prison Break as if it's like a weird thing to love. And I'm like, there is enough money for them to continue bringing this fucking weird ass show back.
I remember it being a very big deal when it was out. It was at least promoted everywhere. So you're right. Like,
look, I watched it after it was on television.
Sure. That makes sense.
Because in 2004, I was turning 9.
Yeah.
I wasn't the target demographic.
No.
But
you should have been watching Prison Break Jr. Also on Fox.
Yeah.
But it was on a different night and a little earlier.
Yeah.
And it was like, can these kids break out of this prison? We put 12 kids in a prison.
Yeah.
In a federal penitentiary.
Right.
Can they break
juvenile detention center?
Can we break them? No, it was adult. They put them in an adult penitentiary.
Listen, we have kid prisons.
And Gordon Ramsay was there. And he would judge them on their escape routes.
Anyways, that's for some reason 3 back-to-back Hulu stories. I know we're like running out of time. We're totally out of time.
We're out of time.
We're totally out of time.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. And you know what? It's Friday though. So fortunately for us, there's still time to do a story for the Patreon. There's something I really wanted to get to today that we didn't get to that's weird that I would love to talk about on the Patreon. So if you're not already, you should check us out at patreon.com/pixelcircus. Getting a extra clip from It's Really each week starts at just $5 a month. You can do a free trial and you can get a deal by paying for a year up front. It's actually pretty significant. You have 15% off for the whole year.
That's a deal.
It's a deal.
You get the bonus clips that we're doing.
Yeah.
Like today's, we're going to check out the weird mole on my neck and see if it's a problem or not.
We also posted some behind the scenes photos from They're Here. If you haven't watched They're Here yet, check it out on YouTube or here on Twitch. That is our immersive horror LARP that we did. I've been describing it as we improvised a horror movie. It's really fun and weird and the hardest thing that we've ever done. Yeah. So I would love it if you checked it out. That would be very cool of you.
Solve the mystery of the dark kitchen.
It's fun. I don't know. It's weird and fun. And if you want to keep in the Halloween spirit a little bit, have a good time.
And there were a lot of great people involved.
We had an absolutely fantastic cast. So check that out. Anthony,
yes.
When you're not here, where are you?
Oh, you can usually find me on the internet at Carboni, except for on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And it turns out that that's a legal issue.
Huh?
Yeah, I was declared legally dead. So that's why I can't have Carboni. Yeah, it's a problem. So you can find me on twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni, where we are every night this month playing a different Game of the Year contender. Tonight, I think we're going to play Jusant, the mountain climbing game by Don't Nod.
All right.
I'm very excited for. Sage, what are you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So I will be back on my stream tomorrow. And on Saturdays, we're doing nostalgia games. So come and check it out. I'm doing the exact opposite. You're playing brand new games. I'm playing the games of people's childhoods. We're going way back.
That's right. Oil and water.
Yeah, that's us. But mostly check out They're Here. That would be the number one thing. What about you, Alex?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Alex. You can find me on Twitter at Alder_Mancy. I don't have any streams coming up this weekend, so I just want to give another shout out to They're Here. I got to write on it with Saige. It was so amazing. Going and watching the YouTube video is a great way to support us. We have a ton of behind the scenes stuff, and I just love making stuff with Pixel Circus. So it was great.
We love you making stuff with Pixel Circus.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Alex put so much work into They're Here, and just a huge shout out. We had such an incredible crew that put that together. We have such a wonderful cast, but also the crew behind the scenes worked their fucking ass off for that. And a lot of people were also on camera too. Like, shout out to Elise for showing up and being there, setting up cameras and making food. But Alex, I would have died without you. Thank you. All right, and we're going to go through and we're going to thank everybody that supported us during the show today. There's a bunch of ways that you can do that. In addition to the Patreon, you can do things like subscribe here. You can do things like donate to that donation bar just behind us. You can just follow. You can just come back and watch the show, because the number one thing that you can do to support us is watch the show. That's why we make it. You can do it in the Discord. That's completely free to do. And you can follow us on socials for updates on things that are going on or suggest some of those stories.